Part 21. Fantasy, I Robbed Millions of Saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 205. Seeing Qin Changsheng appear. Suandan Holy Master Lu Yunding and Yuntian Holy Master Yun Ziohan's expressions changed slightly. Because they all knew that this king-level alchemist shrouded in black robes behaved strangely and had a perverse personality. A few days ago, he destroyed the entire thousand-array demon sect with a wave of his hand. If he got involved in this matter again, he would be in trouble. Reporting back to the seniors, after my little girl was accepted as a disciple by the seniors, the position of the saint in my Suandan Holy Land became vacant. I do intend to establish Xiaomi Li'er as the new generation saint of my Suandan Holy Land. Although Holy Master Suandan was full of doubts, he still said to Qin Changsheng respectfully. After speaking, he felt extremely uneasy. I wonder what this black-robed senior is going to do? Holy Master Suandan's move to love talents is extremely wise. Qin Changsheng nodded. On the surface, things were calm, but in his heart he was filled with joy. There was a bright future in the village, and his cheating plan was about to succeed, so naturally he had to add fuel to the flames. Ah, Senior, thank you so much for your compliments, Senior. I will call Xiaomi Li'er right away and make her the new generation, the saint of Suandan Holy Land. When Holy Master Suandan heard the meaning of Qin Changsheng's words, he actually supported his own approach, and he was instantly happy. He just took this opportunity to prepare to implement this matter. In this way, Yuntian Holy Land would have nothing to say. You said it, but how did he know? Qin Changsheng added fuel to the flames just for this moment. Senior, you don't understand the situation. That girl named Xiaomi Li'er has a huge connection with a brat named Qin Changsheng. And that brat named Qin Changsheng looted many sects' holy lands under my Yuntian Holy Land, causing heavy losses to my Yuntian Holy Land. I will definitely kill Qin Changsheng and take back the property and face that belong to my Yuntian Holy Land. This little girl was with that Qin Changsheng, and she was also the key to leading Qin Changsheng out. Holy Lord Yuntian was on the side. Hearing Qin Changsheng's words, he was a little panicked. He was very angry in his heart. What are you doing with this king-level alchemy master? Our Yuntian Holy Land has a spiritual fruit spirit again. The offering of tea, and all kinds of groveling to make friends with you. You refused to let go, and did not mention helping me, Yuntian Holy Land, and refining elixirs. You actually meddle in the big things of my Yuntian Holy Land? It doesn't matter if you don't understand the situation. I just don't like to owe others favors. Since I have accepted Suandan Saint as my disciple, I have to give Suandan Holy Land another saint to come out. Qin Changsheng said with the air of an old god. The two girls, Lu Yanran and Han Jiaran, couldn't help but curse in their hearts. This bad guy really didn't blush at all when he made nonsense. And the group of people in Yuntian Holy Land became even more depressed when they heard this. They really couldn't understand what this king-level alchemist was doing, and he was messing with it. Is this good for you? And this at that time, the bouncing millet grains had been called out by the Holy Master of Suandan from the Suandan Holy Land. Okay, then I just take this opportunity to announce that from today on, Xiaomi Li'er will be the new generation of saintess of my Suandan Holy Land. Suandan Saint Lord Lu Yunding pointed at the millet grains and said loudly. No. This is a matter of honor for our Yuntian Holy Land. Even if you become the saint of Suandan Holy Land, I will take her back to my Yuntian Holy Land. Yuntian Holy Lord Yun Ziohan said over there, his physique and bloodline were directly stimulated, and he wanted to take action. I saw one mark of Tao emerging. Yun Ziohan's whole person was placed between heaven and earth, looking proudly in all directions. Qin Changsheng he was not prepared to give up his face. It had been 3 days, and this guy was enjoying delicious food and drink, but refused to give him the Yuntian Holy Land to refine his elixir, which made Jung Xiaohan feel unhappy. Now seeing that guy, he actually helps Suandan Holy Land and doesn't even want to care about him. Humph, how could I, the saint of Suandan Holy Land, let you take her back? Holy Lord Suandan said, and his physique and bloodline were instantly stimulated. At the same time, a domain barrier with the mark of Tao was propped up from his whole body. As the domain barrier was propped up, open, that piece of heaven and earth seems to have really been divided, forming a small world that belongs exclusively to the Holy Lord Suandan. This is the domain barrier of the Yunhai realm king level, also known as the king's domain. In this domain barrier, every strong person in the Yunhai realm can more powerfully borrow the power of the great avenues of heaven and earth and the power of laws. You just stepped into the Yunhai realm king level, and you want to fight me. Don't forget, how many years have passed since I entered Yunhai realm. Yuntian Holy Lord Yun Ziohan sneered, and the king's domain around him also opened up. Suddenly, two small worlds independent of things, fighting against each other, monopolizing both worlds. Of course, Yun Ziohan's the king's domain obviously looks much more tyrannical than Lu Yunding's king's domain. At the intersection of the two king's domains, the marks of the Tao flow and collide, creating cracks in the heaven and earth, tearing apart. Split, close, and tear apart again. The power from the void makes everyone around them feel terrified. I said, you neighbors, there is no need to take action. How bad it is to hurt harmony. Qin Changsheng stood aside, and spoke again. Now he is very relaxed, because he just communicated with the system, and at this time, Xiaomi Lier has been determined to be the new generation of Suandan saint. In other words, he has just communicated with the system. She has successfully cheated. However, as soon as he finished communicating with the system, he found that the two people, Holy Master Yuntian and Holy Master Suandan, were in a rhythm of fighting, and he couldn't help but chuckle and joke. This ridicule made Lu Yanran and Han Jiaran, including the four girls Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran in Linglong Immortal Mansion, couldn't help but roll their eyes wildly. It's so shameless, it's really so shameless. All the disputes are obvious, you were the one who started it all, and you even made such a sarcastic remark. Senior, please don't interfere with this matter. I, Yuntian Holy Land, must regain my face. Senior, I, Suandan Holy Land, will definitely not let Xiao Xiao do whatever he wants. Suandan Holy Master Lu Yunding and Yuntian Holy Master Yun Ziohan did not hear the ridicule in Qin Changshen's words, and said decisively one by one. However, the next moment. Okay, since you want to fight. Then I'll accompany you too, let's have some fun. Qin Changshen's voice suddenly came, and then another king's realm was propped up. However, with the appearance of this king's realm barrier, the king's realm between Holy Master Yuntian and Holy Master Suandan, the field was directly squeezed. Please customize, please give me a monthly pass. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 206. Bang. Bang. The sound of shattering was heard from the boundaries of the two kings' realms one after another. In fact, this sound was not exaggerated, it was even a little slight. However, these two slight sounds, to the ears of everyone present, were more earth-shattering than the thunderous explosion in the sky. Especially after they saw how the two kings' realm barriers were broken. One by one, their eyes almost popped out. The boundary of the king's domain was actually broken? And it was because two kings' realms were broken at the same time, squeezed out by another king's realm. The so-called king's domain means that within the domain, I am the king of heaven and earth. Even if they are all Yunhai realm kings, it is difficult for them to interfere with other people's king realms. How could they be squeezed out so easily? What is even more incomprehensible to me is that the person who broke through this king's realm, turned out to be that king-level alchemist. He, didn't he just break through to the Yunhai realm king level 2 days ago? That's right, his king's domain should be between the two of Holy Master Suandan. It is impossible to squeeze through, not to mention Holy Lord Yuntian, who has broken through the Yunhai realm for who knows how many years, and his realm is more stable than them. Is it because of the formation? But that's not right, he didn't set up the formation at all. Everyone looked at the king's realm supported by Qin Changsheng and squeezed out the two king's realms of Holy Lord Suandan and Holy Lord Yuntian. They were shocked beyond measure. If it was Holy Lord Yuntian Yun Ziohan, Qin Changsheng, they could still understand the king's realm of Xiandan Saint Master Lu Yunding. But it happened to be the other way around, Qin Changsheng fought 1 against 2 and squeezed the king's realm of the other two people. Really, it was beyond their cognitive scope. After all, they had seen with their own eyes a few days ago that Qin Changsheng had just broken through to the Yunhai realm king level. Senior, how can your king's domain be so strong? Suandan Holy Lord Lu Yunding was also confused at this time. He just heard that Qin Changsheng was about to take action, and he also said that the senior was going to help him. He had just broken through to the Yunhai realm, and he was indeed, there is no bottom. If you add the senior, you have a good chance of winning. Who knew? As soon as his king's realm was propped up, he and Holy Lord Yuntian's king's realm were squeezed out. This it made him full of doubts about his own fighting power and Qin Changshen's purpose. How so? How come your king's domain has so many avenue marks and the power of law? Holy Lord Yun Tian, Yun Ziohan, is definitely the most shocked among everyone present. Because he has advanced to the Yunhai realm king level for many years, he thinks that his control over the king's realm is definitely the strongest among the three. However, Qin Changsheng was frightened as soon as the barrier of the king's domain was raised. The great avenue marks in the king's domain were simply too numerous and fierce, and they were actually blessed with the power of law. This thing, how could it appear in a person who has just advanced to the Yunhai realm? Even he, doesn't have the blessing of laws yet. Sorry. The first time I held up the king's realm barrier, I couldn't control it either. Qin Changsheng waved his hand and chuckled. Everyone was speechless. What a failure to control. You didn't control it, and you squeezed out the other two Yunhai realms king's domain. If you could control it easily, shouldn't it be stronger? Senior's cultivation level is indeed beyond the reach of us. He is so powerful at the first level of Yunhai realm. It's no wonder that when he broke through, 4 kinds of strange phenomena descended from the sky. However, this is a grudge between me and Suandan Holy Land, and has nothing to do with Senior. I still hope that Senior will not interfere. After this incident, I, Yun Ziohan, promise to apologize to my seniors with the utmost sincerity. Holy Lord Yun Tian, Yun Ziohan, after being shocked, began to feel a little panic in his heart, so he said this. His idea is very simple. You are strong, I admit it, and I will respectfully reason with you. And I promise, if you don't intervene, and I can pay you some price. As for Suandan Saint Lord Lu Yunding, his expression changed again when he heard Yun Ziohan's words. This black-robed senior has an unruly style of acting, and his thoughts are even more difficult to fathom. If he really changed his mind due to Yun Ziohan's promise, then it would be really difficult for him in the Suandan Holy Land today. I also hope it has nothing to do with me. Originally, I wanted to stay out of it quietly, but then I suddenly remembered, the root of all your problems seems to be because of me. In this case, I have to go back to my old business. Let me inform you, robbery. Hand over all your sex heavenly materials, earthly treasures, martial arts and combat skills, spiritual stones, elixirs, etc. to me. In addition, there is also a saint. Qin Changsheng said, shaking open the black robe around him, revealing his true face. For a moment, everyone was stunned. There were tens of millions of people in front of the entire Suandan Holy Land mountain gate. But at this moment, everyone opened their mouths in unison, widened their eyes, and then, solidified such an expression on the face. Even, everyone stopped breathing at that moment. The entire world, except for Qin Changsheng, Lu Yanran, and Han Jiaran, seemed to have fallen into a state of stasis. After several breaths, the still picture finally broke. Then, everyone was in an uproar, frantically expressing their inner shock. This, what is going on, how can this king-level alchemist be so young? Just now, his voice suddenly became younger, and I suspected that my ears were hallucinating. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be true. How could this happen? This is impossible. He is not only a king-level alchemy master, but also a king-level formation Taoist master. How can someone so young do this? No. No. What you forgot to pay attention to is another point. Robbery. Yes, why did he say robbery? What about returning to the old business? Everything has to do with him. He also talked about robbing the saint. Why is this dialogue so familiar? Could it be that? Suddenly, everyone suddenly had a crazy idea. A crazy guess about Qin Changshen's identity. But this guess was so crazy and exaggerated that none of them dared to believe it or speak out. In the end, I don't know who it was, but I shouted out everyone's wishes. Could it be that, he is the Qin demon, the god of killing, Qin Changsheng? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 207. He is Qin Changsheng. This isn't impossible. That Qin demon killer god Qin Changsheng, isn't he only 19 years old? Look at his age, doesn't he look like 19? But him, he is a king-level alchemist, and a top-level king-level formation Taoist. How could you do this at the age of 19? You have forgotten one thing, he is still a 19-year-old, Yunhai Realm king-level powerhouse. Yes, he broke through the Yunhai Realm 2 days ago. Wait, according to previous rumors, Qin Changsheng was in the 8th or 9th heaven of the Unity Realm a few days ago. And then, he broke through within 2 days? Although it's a bit fast, but it seems to be on the right track again. Saint. This guy first kidnapped Lu Yanran, the saint of Suandan, under the pretense of recruiting a disciple. Later, he also kidnapped Han Jiaran, the saint of Qianzhen demon sect. Isn't this what the Qin demon killer god loves to do the most? And the scene of him wiping out the thousand array demon sect with a wave of his hand, let me just say it's very familiar. It is exactly the same as the rumor about the destruction of the blue blood demon sect, except that one uses the sound of the piano and the other uses the array. But, I still can't believe it. These two are the two most terrifying people I feel recently, but in the end, I suddenly discovered that they are the same person. This is even more terrifying. Although someone has exposed that crazy speculation. Although Qin Changshen's true face is there, and it is very consistent with the person in the rumors. But everyone still dare not believe that this is the truth. The mysterious old man in black robe, turned out to be the famous Qin demon killer, Qin Changsheng. You, how could you, who are you? The Holy Lord of Yuntian Holy Land, Yun Ziohan, and a group of elders and disciples were all dumbfounded at this time, with pale faces. They could not accept this fact even more. They had been clamoring for a long time to find the guy who had been cut into pieces with 1,000 cuts. He has been right under his nose all this time. And in the past few days, the entire Yuntian Holy Land, from the Holy Lord Yun Ziohan to the elders, disciples, and others, When they see this guy, they will salute respectfully and call him senior. He also contributed countless spiritual teas, spiritual fruits, and treasures, just to please him. This guy is simply the most ridiculous thing in the world, the biggest oolong incident. Brother, he, can I finally go back? Xiaomi Lier saw Qin Changsheng showing his true face and ran over with a smile. She has been in Suandan these days. Oh, I'm almost suffocating. Suandan Holy Master Lu Yunding looked at Xiaomi Lier, who was flying towards Qin Changsheng, with a blank look on his face. He wanted to stop him, but he didn't. He finally connected all the things together. He was still confused before. How did this black-robed senior run to their Suandan Holy Land without anyone noticing, and even ran to his daughter's Saintess pavilion? At first, he thought Qin Changsheng's cultivation was so advanced that they didn't notice. But then, on the day Qin Changsheng broke through Yunhai realm, his doubts deepened a lot. Having just broken through to the Yunhai realm king level, doesn't it mean that when he was in his Suandan Holy Land before, this black-robed senior was only at the Heiai realm? With such a level of cultivation, it is simply impossible to enter the core of the Suandan Holy Land without being noticed. Now, looking at Xiaomi Lier's actions and address, how could he not understand the reason? That day happened to be the time for Xiaomi Lier to enter the Suandan Holy Land, and then the black-robed senior appeared, obviously brought in by Xiaomi Lier. Combined with various rumors in the wilderness, Qin Changsheng's identity, naturally there is no need to doubt anything. Of course, a new doubt arises. This Qin Changsheng is only 19 years old. How is it possible to refine king-level elixirs? And his daughter Lu Yanran. Judging from her current performance, she doesn't look surprised. She must have known Qin Changsheng's identity for a long time. Actually, I never said it, and why? And doesn't this guy always like to loot holy places and plunder saints? Why didn't he take action directly against his Suandan Holy Land this time? He just deceived his daughter and left the millet grains behind. That little girl called him brother. It's over, it's over. Now I want to deceive myself, but I can't. He is Qin Changsheng. My mind is blank now. I still can't accept this fact. Isn't this guy so evil? Yunhai realm king level alchemist, king level Taoist master, no matter who you are, you can't do it at the age of 19. But this guy did it all. The son of luck, this guy must be the legendary son of luck. According to rumors, the son of luck is blessed with invincible luck, unparalleled qualifications and attainments in all aspects, as if he were blessed by heaven. But this guy ran out of the wilderness. The luck has been cut off a long time ago. Otherwise, why would it be called a deserted place? How could the son of luck appear? Everyone watched Xiaomi Lier flying towards Qin Changsheng, and finally had to face the fact that they couldn't believe. This person is Qin Changsheng. But all kinds of speculations are also in everyone's minds. Emerged. Some people even think that Qin Changsheng is the legendary son of fate. Since ancient times, there have been chaos. It is said that the son of destiny is coming soon. In every period of troubled times, people with great luck will emerge one after another to welcome the destiny of heaven and establish a new order for the entire world. But what they can't understand is why Qin Changsheng came from a deserted place. There is no blessing of luck at all. And just when everyone was still shocked, the millet grain had already jumped into Qin Changsheng's arms. Qin Changsheng touched the little guy affectionately, feeling very happy in his heart. At the same time, a series of system information appeared directly in Qin Changsheng's mind. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 208. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Master, you successfully plundered the Suandan Saint Xiaomi Lier, and the reward is being calculated. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Lord, Suandan Saint Xiaomi Li'er, whose realm is the 5th level of the Unity realm, and after 10 times the gain, she will give back to the Holy Lord. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Lord, Xiaomi Li'er, the Suandan Saint, has the heaven-swallowing tyrant body, mutated. After 10 times the gain, she will give back to the Holy Lord. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Lord, Xiaomi Li'er, the Suandan Saint, has unsealed bloodline. After being unsealed, she will gain tenfold and give back to the Holy Lord. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Master, the combat skills of Suandan Holy Maiden Xiaomi Li'er are the first level Xian level combat skills and the Ice Spirit Body Technique, perfection. After 10 times the gain, give back to the Holy Lord. Diddy, congratulations to the Holy Lord, Xiaomi Li'er, the Suandan Saint, has the first level Xian level alchemy skill. After 10 times the gain, she will give back to the Holy Lord. Normally, when Qin Changsheng plunders the saint, he throws it into the Linglong Immortal Mansion or the Zhangkong Ring, and then the prompt message will take effect. The simplest thing is to be controlled by Qin Changsheng and come into contact to determine success. Xiaomi Li'er is better, because she is here with Qin Changsheng wholeheartedly, and has no idea of resistance at all, and she even throws herself into Qin Changsheng's arms. It takes effect directly. With the appearance of these prompt messages, time and space froze, and Qin Changsheng's body began to change. Holy Master, Qin Changsheng. Age, 19. Physique, innate ice spirit flame holy body, mutated. Bloodline, Black Fire Dragon King bloodline, rich. The realm of Taoism, the way of the piano, the way of enlightenment and becoming a saint, the way of the sword, the way of enlightenment and becoming a saint, the way of fire, the way of enlightenment and becoming a saint. Cultivation realm, Yunhai realm, 3rd heaven, 3rd grade martial king. Skill, king level 1st grade alchemy. King level 1st level Taoist magic. Combat skill, 6th grade Xian level combat skill Dragon Shadow Traceless Body Technique, perfection. The 7th level profound level combat skill Sword Lord of the Sky, perfection. The 8th level Xian level combat skill Wrath of the Burning Sky, perfection. After taking a look at his latest attributes and comparing them with the system prompt information, Qin Changsheng was a little confused. In terms of realm, the improvement is quite big. In the past 2 days, Xiaomi Li'er has obviously eaten a lot of good food, and his cultivation level has reached the 5th level of the Unity realm. After gaining 10 times the gain, Qin Changsheng skipped 2 levels and reached the 3rd level of Yunhai realm, the realm of the 3rd grade martial king. If this was known to other Yunhai realm experts, they would probably go crazy. Yunhai realm king level, can he still advance to the next level? However, what Qin Changsheng is more concerned about is other places. Physically, Qin Changsheng's physique has not only turned into an innate ice spirit flame holy body, but also has the same sign of mutation as Xiaomi Li'er. He, also turned into a mutated physique. And it's also a mutated holy body. The holy body is not common. The mutated holy body has never been heard of. And in terms of bloodline, Qin Changsheng's attributes have not changed. But in the system prompt message, it was clearly stated that the reason was that Xiaomi Li'er's bloodline had not been unblocked yet. After the seal is unsealed, there will also be a tenfold gain in return for Qin Changsheng. The bloodline of Xiaomi Li'er is still a mystery, a huge mystery. But after eating so many good things that stimulate the bloodline, only 1% of it can be unblocked. You can imagine how terrifying it will be after Xiaomi Li'er's bloodline is unblocked. If after the seal is unsealed, Qin Changsheng will receive 10 times the gain in return. Wouldn't that mean getting a bloodline that is 10 times more terrifying? The last one, skill. What made Qin Changsheng a little dumbfounded was that he didn't know what he had eaten in the Suandan Holy Land. She actually ate herself and became an alchemist. Although he is only a first-level Xian-level alchemist, after the tenfold improvement, Qin Changshen's alchemy skills have been improved by another level, becoming a first-level king-level alchemist. Even though they are all king-level alchemists, the difference between high-level and low-level alchemy when it comes to quality, the difference is huge. An alchemist who has reached the highest level, can be called an alchemy king. In other words, Qin Changshen has now become a first-grade pill king. You are really Qin Changshen. It's you who looted all the sect's holy places under my command from the Gilded Realm. Holy Lord Yun Tian, Yun Ziohan, finally had to face reality when he saw the intimate embrace between Qin Changshen and Xiaomi Lier. He now feels as uncomfortable as eating a fly and getting it stuck in his throat. He respectfully said, invited to the Yuntian Holy Land, all the people who were treated with great care and even greeted every day, turned out to be the enemy he was looking for, Qin Changshen? That's right, I am Qin Changshen. Qin Changshen said, stretched out his hand, and a Guqin appeared in front of Qin Changshen. Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran did not need to hide anything. They stepped out from the Linglong Immortal Mansion and stood on both sides of Qin Changshen. Look! At this scene, Holy Lord Yuntian was even more desperate. And in the market below, countless people were shocked and their eyes were filled with envy. This guy, the top beauty next to him, really there are so many. Especially Amo Ran's super long legs, the figure shouldn't be too good. Ding ding, dong dong. The 2 generations of saints from Suandan Holy Land have all been handed over. Next, is it time for you, Yuntian Holy Land, to express your gratitude? Qin Changshen played the piano casually and chuckled at Holy Lord Yuntian. Everyone was speechless. This guy is indeed very interested in plundering the saint. Now, the first thing is still, looking for the saint of Yuntian. Wishful thinking. But you just stepped into Yunhai realm, do you really think you are invincible? Holy Lord Yuntian roared angrily, his physique and bloodline were completely stimulated, and the king's realm barrier around him was once again propped up by him. Because he tried his best this time, Holy Lord Yun Ziohan's king's domain was not affected by Qin Changshen's king's domain. Not only did it hold up, but in terms of momentum, it actually suppressed Qin Changshen's king's domain. Tendency. However. Ding. A piano sound sounded. The whole world seems to be echoing with countless notes. Boom. The barrier of the king's domain that Yung Ziohan tried his best to hold up was once again shattered. And, because of his best efforts, not only was the barrier of the king's domain broken this time, but it also brought him the same tyrannical backlash. Puff. A mouthful of old blood spurted out directly from the mouth of Holy Lord Yuntian. In an instant, in front of the entire Suandan Holy Land mountain gate, there was once again silence, and the sound of a needle dropping could be heard. One person, with a light cloud and gentle breeze, casually plucked one of the strings, exerting all his strength, all his body and blood were stimulated, and he supported the king. The realm barrier. But Yun Danfenking is still Yun Danfenking. He tried his best, but the barrier of the king's domain was shattered, and he was vomited blood due to the shock. How big is the gap between these two people? Then Qin Changshen, how strong is he? Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 209. How could this happen? Holy Lord Yuntian has broken through to the Yunhai realm for many years. It's only been a few days since that guy broke through, how could he be so tyrannical? What's even more tyrannical is, Holy Lord Yuntian's bloodline and constitution were stimulated, but that guy didn't activate any of them. He just played the piano lightly, shattered Holy Lord Yuntian's king's domain, and vomited blood. I finally understand why this guy said he was using his combat power to bully others when he destroyed the entire Thousand Formations demon sect 2 days ago. This combat power is just a bit of a bully. Realm, This guy's realm is definitely not the first level of Yunhai realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible to be so tyrannical as Holy Lord Yuntian. At least, it is also the second level of Yunhai realm. How is it possible? He just made a breakthrough 2 days ago. Even if you are the legendary child of luck, you don't have to be so defiant. How can we ordinary people survive? Whether it was the people who were eating melons in the market, or the elders and disciples of Yuntian Holy Land and Suandan Holy Land, they were all astonished and a little suspicious of life when they saw Qin Changshen's scene of Holy Lord Yuntian vomiting blood after hearing the sound of the piano. You are so young, you are a king-level alchemist and a king-level formation Taoist, that's all. Your combat power is still so unbelievable. You just broke through to the Yunhai realm king level, and you took the king of Yunhai realm, who had broken through for many years, was suppressed to such an extent. How can you be so strong? Impossible, absolutely impossible. You just broke through to the Yunhai realm. Puff. Holy Lord Yuntian, Yun Ziohan, was definitely the one who collapsed the most among those present. While questioning with unwillingness on his face, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of old blood. When Qin Changshen's king's domain just broke through the barrier of his king's domain, although he was also shocked, he believed that it was because this guy's physique or bloodline was very strong, so the king's domain barriers are also stronger than those of ordinary people. But in the real competition of combat strength, he was still very confident. After all, he has been immersed in the first level of Yunhai realm for so many years and has cultivated all combat skills to perfection. Coupled with years of training, both blood and physique can enhance each other's combat power, reaching the peak state. Who would have thought that I couldn't even resist the sound of someone else's piano? The gap between this and the expected result in his heart is not too big. I don't know why I am so strong. I just want to play a song for you. Qin Changsheng said leisurely, and another piano sound sounded. Ding. This time, the sound of the piano was like the sound of a sword. With the sound of the piano, one by one, spiritual energy swords appeared in the sky. Then, the spiritual energy sword in the sky fell like a downpour, but the direction of falling was not towards Holy Lord Yuntian, but towards the mountain protecting formation of Yuntian Holy Land in the distance. He. Under the raging sword energy, the mountain protecting formation of Yuntian Holy Land in the distance only lasted a few breaths before being defeated by the endless spiritual energy swords. Puff. Holy Lord Yuntian spurted out another mouthful of old blood, his eyes full of despair. The mountain protecting formation of Yuntian Holy Land is his last trump card to save his life. He originally thought that if he really lost to Qin Changsheng, he would shrink into Yuntian Holy Land and not be able to escape. After all, their mountain protecting formation in Yuntian Holy Land is still extremely powerful. Not to mention him, even the 7th and 8th grade Yunhai realm kings cannot defeat it with brute force alone. But now, seeing his last line of defense completely collapsed, Holy Lord Yuntian suddenly thought. This guy is not only a Yunhai realm king level, but also a king level Taoist who has reached the first level. Every attack he made landed accurately on the weakest point of the Yuntian Holy Land's mountain protecting formation. Saintess Yuntian, why don't you come out to meet her? I've been thinking about you day and night for several days. Qin Changsheng shouted loudly in the direction of Yuntian Holy Land. Qin Changsheng didn't have much interest in people like Holy Lord Yuntian. However, Qin Changsheng was quite interested in the saint of Yuntian who had not shown her face for so many days. With everything going on here, holy girl Yuntian hasn't appeared yet, leaving Qin Changsheng speechless. Since you don't come out, then I will break the mountain protecting formation of your Yuntian Holy Land and call you out. Puff. You go too far. Holy Lord Yuntian spat out another mouthful of old blood, and said with a livid face. The saint is the facade of a sect. This guy, in front of him, so unscrupulously shouted and teased the saint of Yuntian Holy Land, is simply slap him in the face like crazy. Everyone around him also completely admired Qin Changshen. This guy seems to care about the saint forever. As for Lu Yanran and Han Jiaran, they even rolled their eyes to the heavens. They are very happy that they have been occupied by this guy now. Otherwise, they would be embarrassed to death by being teased and shouted at like this. As for Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran, they are already used to it. Hey, still not coming out. Interesting. After shouting like this, in the direction of Yuntian Holy Land, except for some elders and disciples who ran away with frightened faces, there was still no sign of Yuntian saint, which made Qin Changshen even more interested. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Interesting, indeed interesting. This girl actually watched such a wonderful show. It was indeed a worthwhile trip. A clear and sweet female voice suddenly came from the market at the gate of Suandan Holy Land. At the same time, buzz. Throughout the world, the sounds of the Dao are ringing out, and the marks of various Dao are circulating. A pale yellow barrier of the king's realm actually stood up from the city, following that voice. The expressions of everyone present were frozen once again. Is there actually a hidden Yunhai realm king level among the people present? And listen to the voice, is it a young woman? But what shocked everyone even more was what was still behind. In the blink of an eye, the pale yellow barrier of the king's domain actually enveloped an area of 500 miles in radius. Including Qin Changshen's king's domain barrier, although it was not squeezed through, it was directly covered inside. Seeing the scope of this king's domain barrier, an even more incredible idea flashed through everyone's minds involuntarily. The woman hiding in Fangxi who has not yet appeared, turns out to be a heaven-defying powerhouse in the middle stage of Yunhai realm. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 210. The boundary of the king's domain covers a radius of 500 miles. This is definitely a strong person in the middle stage of Yunhai realm, which is the fourth heaven, fifth heaven, or even the sixth heaven of Yunhai realm. Oh my God, how could this happen, that there is such a powerful person who defies the will of heaven and earth at the scene? And it's still hidden in the city. Our place is close to the edge of Fenshan Ridge in the East Wasteland, but there has not been such a powerful person for many years. I originally thought that Qin Changshen was the strongest person present. Unexpectedly, a stronger one actually came out. This is an amazing rhythm. As the pale yellow barrier of the king's realm was completely opened, everyone enveloped inside was shocked and horrified. The king of Yunhai realm, to them, they are a superior existence. The mid-stage king level of Yunhai realm is something that so many people have never seen in their lives. At the same time, everyone's eyes are focused on Fang City, the center of the entire king's realm barrier. I saw standing there a beautiful figure wearing a yellow skirt and a simple bun on her hair. This was a woman in her 20s based on her age. At first glance, she's not that eye-catching. She's just an ordinary little girl with a light yellow veil on her face, so her face can't be seen clearly. But when you take a second look, you'll find that this girl, the aura on her body is extremely attractive. Yes, it is attractive. This is a feeling that can only be understood but cannot be expressed. At first glance, she will be ignored directly. At second glance, her eyes will shift a little. Don't open it. When I looked at it for the third time, this girl seemed to have turned into an extremely alluring and delicious beauty, making all men want to eat her into their stomachs. Especially this one. The girl's big eyes, as watery as a pool of clear water, made countless men, including many strong men in the Unity realm, fall deeply in love with her after just one glance, unable to extricate themselves. Even Holy Lord Yuntian and Suandan the Holy Lord, these two king-level powerhouses in the Yunhai realm, looked dazed when they saw the woman. If we say that among all the men present, the only one who could maintain a clear mind from beginning to end, there is only Qin Changsheng. He has been a human for 2 lives and has a soul see that is different from ordinary people. Qin Changsheng has a strong resistance to things that affect the soul see. At the same time, this woman's attribute information also appeared in Qin Changsheng's mind. Name, Shangguan Shishi. Physique, innate 9 yin holy body, peak. Bloodline, bloodline of Queen Mother of the West of Yaokai, thin. Realm, Yunhai realm 5th level, 5th grade martial king. Combat skills, the 7th grade Xian level combat skill, Yaokai floating body technique, perfection. The 8th grade Xian level combat skill, Yaokai Muishinju, perfection. The 8th grade Xian level combat skill, void condensation sword technique, perfection. When he saw the woman's enchanting figure, Qin Changsheng was not calmed down. But when he saw this woman's attribute information, Qin Changsheng was a little stunned. This woman named Shangguan Shishi is definitely the strongest person he has ever seen in terms of various attributes. A 5th level martial king in the Yunhai realm. Even though Shangguan Shishi has become much younger after advancing to the Yunhai realm, the proportion of change is also based on his own lifespan. Such a young person in the 5th level of Yunhai realm is definitely already very powerful. In addition, this Shangguan poem also contains the legendary holy body. Moreover, it is a very high level one. The 9 yin holy body is more powerful than the innate spiritual fire holy body before Qin Changsheng. Of course, compared with Qin Changsheng's current holy body, Qin Changsheng didn't know which one was stronger or weaker. There is no record of his mutated innate ice spirit flame holy body in the Taoist inheritance he obtained, and there is no way to rank it. In addition, what attracted Qin Changsheng's attention even more was that it was this girl's bloodline. The bloodline of the Queen Mother of the West in Yaokai. This name shouldn't be too scary for Qin Changsheng, who knows all kinds of Taoist traditions. Could it be the Yaokai Holy Land, where there are legendarily powerful people at the Star Tibetan realm? This woman named Shangguan Shishi can't be the saint of Yaokai. Qin Changsheng was extremely excited when he thought of this possibility. Saint Yuntian didn't shout out, but she called out Saint Shangguan Shishi from Yaokai. If I plunder this Shangguan Shishi, what kind of state of cultivation will I reach? And just when Qin Changsheng was looking at this girl's attribute information, he was filled with shock and surprise. The woman named Shangguan Shishi had already risen into the air and walked into the air. She had obviously suppressed her own cultivation before. After no longer suppressing it, with every step she took, ripples of Dao seals appeared under her lotus steps. And her light yellow dress also changed from its original ordinary appearance to radiant. Runes of avenue mark runes circulated around her, as if accompanied by patches of starry sky. And she is the brightest star in the starry sky. Everyone who was so obsessed with her just now the look of obsession on their faces disappeared. What replaced it was the urge to worship and the desire to surrender at her feet. Because at this time, Shangguan Shishi's body no longer had any charm, and was replaced by endless holy smells and endless proud postures. It's like the 9 heavens goddess who was relegated to the world, standing proudly on the top of all living beings. Let everyone not dare to have any blasphemous thoughts, just want to worship, just want to be pious and dedicate their souls. And this temperament affects more than just men. All the female monks present, seeing this Shangguan Shishi's aloofness, all felt admiration and admiration. Even Holy Lord Yuntian Yun Ziohan and Holy Lord Suandan Lu Yunding, felt the urge to kneel down at this moment. Including Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran, who were beside Qin Changsheng, their beautiful eyes looked at Shangguan Shishi with a somewhat confused expression. But there are only 2 people, and everything is still clear now. One is Qin Changsheng, the other one is Xiaomi Lier, who is in Qin Changsheng's arms. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 211. Ding ding, Dong dong. Qin Changsheng plucked the strings a few more times randomly, awakening all those who wanted to worship Shangguan Shishi. After everyone woke up, their minds were in shock. What had just happened to them? He actually glanced at that woman and felt completely confused, as if he had lost his soul. No, it's not like they have lost their souls. They could feel that they were awake just now, and all their fighting power was still there. But deep down in my heart, I felt a kind of blind worship and surrender to that woman. Even if that woman had just given an order to them to commit suicide. I'm afraid they will all kill themselves on the spot without hesitation. Young master, this woman, is so evil. Yes, I just lost control of myself. Lu Ruyan and Lu Yanran said with horror in their beautiful eyes after they woke up. Hanjia and Mo Ran, who were silent, were also frightened and patted their chests. This is a little witch. The art of charm is extraordinary. Qin Changsheng said calmly, and plucked the strings a few times casually. He was now even more interested in Shangguan Shishi. Humph, you are the little witch. Your name is Qin Changsheng, right? The little girl in your arms is called Xiaomi Li'er, right? Interesting, indeed interesting. There were so many people just now, you two are the only ones who can still stay awake. You are indeed the ones who interest me. But you are wrong about one thing, what this girl performs is the soul technique. Do you dare to compare such a trivial skill as the charm technique with my soul technique? In mid-air, Shangguan Shishi said with a chuckle. The voice was like a silver bell, and everyone listened, and felt a little excited again. But this time, everyone was mentally prepared, and Shangguan Shishi did not deliberately use it. She talked about the art of souls, so everyone was still sober. But, soberness returned to sobriety. The level of shock in everyone's hearts did not diminish at all. The first shock naturally came from Shangguan Shishi. No one knows, this is another evildoer who came out of nowhere. He is so young, he is already at the middle stage of Yunhai realm, and he also has such a weird soul technique, which makes it hard for people to guard against it. Chapter 1. The second shock was for Qin Changsheng and Xiaomi Li'er. These two monsters are also extraordinary. In the situation just now, millions of people on the scene, all fell, and it was only the two of them. He remained awake. Moreover, Qin Changsheng's two casual piano sounds broke the soul skills of the woman in the light yellow dress. This shows that his attainments in the soul field are as good as that of the mysterious woman. Ah! Soul art. When Qin Changsheng heard Shangguan Shishi's words, his focus was different from others. Because he had gained 10 times the inheritance of two Taoist traditions, Qin Changsheng could say that for this world, there are many cultivation methods and combat skills. Are all well understood? This soul technique is a soul attack method unique to Yaokai Holy Land. And only Yaokai Holy Master 11 Wangmu and her direct disciples have the opportunity to inherit it. Also because of this. When he heard the woman say that she was performing soul skills, Qin Changsheng's heart trembled with excitement again. Could it be that, what he guessed was true? This Shangguan Shishi is saintess of the Yaokai Holy Land? That would be interesting. This is a super big experience package. The 5th level of Yunhai realm. If you eat this experience package, you will directly become a star. A powerful emperor in the Tibetan realm. The art of the soul, the unique attack method of the legendary Yaokai Holy Land, and it is only passed down to direct disciples. So, are you from Yaokai Holy Land? And he is also a direct disciple. Could it be that she is the saint of Yaokai? Qin Changsheng asked seemingly casually, but his heart was pounding. As soon as Qin Changsheng asked these words, everyone who was already shocked was once again stunned. Including Suandan Saint Master Lu Yunding and Holy Lord Yuntian Yungziaohan also had their eyes widened at this time, and they were completely reduced to melon eaters. Yaokai Holy Land, oh my god, according to legend, one of the top sex holy land in the eastern wilderness continent, this woman is actually from the Yaokai Holy Land. That is the holy land of a sect with the emperor level of Xingzang realm. How did you come here? I have also heard that, the Queen Mother of the West, the Holy Lord of Yaokai, is the most stunning woman in the entire eastern wilderness continent every generation. I'm going crazy, I'm really going crazy, what happened today? Even people from Yaokai Holy Land showed up. I don't know how many people started talking about it. In mid-air, Shangguan Shishi, who was wearing a light yellow dress, heard Qin Changshen mention the Yaokai Holy Land, and his beautiful eyes changed slightly. You actually know that the soul technique comes from the Yaokai Holy Land. Not bad, a little insightful. Yes, this girl is the saint of Yaokai Holy Land. Are you interested? This girl knows that your favorite thing is to rob the saint. Shangguan Shishi admitted frankly that she was the holy maiden of Yaokai. Qin Changshen was pleasantly surprised, but something didn't feel right. Just as many people just said. The top of the East Barren continent, the Sex Holy Land, has powerful forces at the Star Tibetan realm. How could the saint come to the edge of the eastern wilderness dividing ridge alone? Are you really the saint of Yaokai Holy Land? Tisk, why do I not believe it so much? Would the saint of Yaokai come to such a fringe place? Qin Changshen asked, pretending to be suspicious. Humph, I have nothing to do, and I am traveling here, why not? Originally, I didn't want to stay, but I heard that a little girl came to Suandan Holy Land, and she could directly swallow the best spiritual stones to practice, and she reached the unity state at the age of 6, so I was very interested. Later, I heard that a king-level alchemist came to Suandan Holy Land, which made me even more excited, and wanted to capture him to make alchemy for me. But I didn't expect, after all the truth was revealed today, it was far more exciting than I imagined. You, a king-level alchemist, actually came all the way from the gilded domain to rob. However, the way of heaven is easy to reincarnate, who will be spared by heaven? Qin Changshen, right, your good days are over. I am going to eliminate harm for the people today and snatch you to be my special alchemist, so that you can go around looting holy places and plundering saints. Shangguan Shishi said with a smile, a pair of beautiful eyes staring at Qin Changshen. It seemed that, she really regarded Qin Changshen as her prey. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 212. People from harm. Steal me from becoming an alchemist. Qin Changshen couldn't help but laugh when he heard Shangguan Shishi's words. He even mentioned the saying that heaven will reincarnate and God will spare no one. This Shangguan Shishi is also so fun. As for other people, after hearing this Shangguan Shishi, the words of the poem immediately made them want to watch the excitement. They had all witnessed the power of Qin Changshen just now. He also said that it was over now. This Qin demon-killing god could easily crush Holy Lord Yuntian. Yuntian Holy Land and Suandan the Holy Land is probably going to be destroyed. Including them, I am afraid they will not be able to escape death. Because according to the news coming from the deserted land, Qin Changshen is simply a bloodthirsty maniac. Wherever he passes, there is a mountain of corpses. Rivers of blood flowed all over the land, looting the sect's holy land and massacring the entire sect, just like playing. Fortunately, this Yaokai saint descended from the sky. With her cultivation in the middle stage of Yunhai realm, she could crush the piano demon-killing god Qin Changshen should be more than enough. Especially the Holy Lord Yun Tian, Yun Ziohan, was so desperate just now that he was no match for Qin Changshen's moves. Even the sect's mountain protecting formation was easily broken by that guy. Now, his eyes are filled with infinite hope. The words of the Yaokai saint are so satisfying. Although we, the people of Yuntian Holy Land, have low combat power, we will definitely follow the ferry and kill this beast. Yung Xiao. Han said loudly. We will definitely follow the saint of Yaokai. The group of elders in the unity realm of Yuntian Holy Land are also good at observing words and deeds. Holy Lord Yuntian was injured just now, but they had no idea of taking action. But now, seeing the power of Shangguan Shishi, one by one quickly stood in line. This is the saint of Yaokai. If we can leave a good impression, Yuntian Holy Land is expected to rise from now on. As for Suandan Holy Land, Suandan Holy Master Lu Yunding has remained silent. Because he always felt that there was something fishy here. After all, his daughter was standing next to Qin Changshen with no forced expression on her face, and she even seemed a little worried about that guy. But no matter what happened to Suandan Holy Land, the momentum created by Yuntian Holy Land made many spectators around them even more convinced that Qin Changshen was going to die today. However, what everyone didn't expect was, after Yuntian Holy Land and others finished standing in line, the Yaokai saint in mid-air gave them a cold look. Do you think I still need your help if I do it? And you, Holy Lord Yuntian, Yun Ziohan, if you had the ability to capture him just now, do I still need to take action? First wipe the blood from your mouth and then talk. What I hate the most is guys like you, who tend to follow the crowd and bully the weak and are afraid of being tough. In mid-air, the Yaokai saint said angrily. After a few words, everyone was dumbfounded. Why did the Yaokai saint start a fight against the Holy Lord Yuntian, and, her fight was so cruel, she has no face at all. Leave nothing behind, every word is heartbreaking. Puff. Holy Lord Yuntian was originally very interested. After hearing the words of Yaokai saint, another mouthful of old blood spurted out. But he didn't dare to refute. The opponent's strength is there, but he is stronger than Qin Changshen, the god of killing. Now the Yaokai saint is so disgusted with him. If she offends her, it will not be easy to kill him. Moreover, he had no way to refute, because everything the Yaokai saint said seemed to be the truth. After looking away from Yuntian Holy Land with a look of disgust on her face, Saintess Yaokai began to stare at Qin Changshen again. What, you want me to rob you? Or should you obediently swear an oath to follow me and follow me from now on? Shangguan Shishi said with a slight smile. The so-called Dao oath is to combine the mark of one's soul C with the mark of the Dao to make an oath. After reaching Yunhai realm, such an oath can really be combined with the power of the Dao together. We don't dare to say anything randomly. Once we violate it, we will definitely receive backlash and sanctions from the power of the Great Avenue. What if I don't choose either? Qin Changshen said with a faint smile. He was already very interested in Shangguan Shishi, and he was even more interested when he saw her raging against Yuntian Holy Land. This girl's temper is very lovable. If you don't choose, don't blame me for being rude. But let me tell you one thing first. Once I do it, it won't matter. It doesn't matter if you are injured or disabled at that time, you can still continue to make elixirs for me. If you die, there is nothing I can do. But if you really die, it's because God has eyes. Anyway, you have done so many evil things along the way, so you deserve to die. Shangguan Shishi said as her temperament began to rise. Bursts of sounds of the avenue echoed in her king's domain. One by one, the marks of the avenue condensed all over her body. The whole area at this moment, the world seemed to have become her domain, and everyone's lives depended on her thoughts. Yaokai Saint's sister. You may have misunderstood. Our young master, he is not that heinous. I am Lu Ruyan, the saint of the Hunshan demon section, but the Hunshan demon sect's idea of making me a saint is just to force me to be the cauldron of the holy son of blue blood. I am willing to be snatched away by the young master. At this moment, something that no one expected happened. Lu Ruyan actually spoke up and defended Qin Changshen. Because looking at the rising momentum of Shangguan's poems and the power of the enchantment in the king's domain, Lu Ruyan was really panicking now. The king's domain barrier that Qin Changsheng had just made was much weaker than this king's domain barrier. And I am the previous generation saint of the Hunshan demon section. Although I was also robbed, I really don't think what the young master did was wrong. No indiscriminate killing of innocent people. Let's not talk about the Hunshan demon sect. The Holy Lord of the Xianming Holy Land is an old pervert who likes young girls. Should he be killed? The Blue Blood demon sect practices extremely evil techniques, and they even use monks to refine human elixirs and swallow them. Shouldn't they be killed? The super invincible long-legged Mo Ran also spoke. This surprised Qin Changsheng. Qin Changsheng could understand that Lu Ruyan would worry about herself and speak for herself. After all, a husband and wife can live together for 100 days, but I don't know, how many days have I been doing this? But Mo Ran, a proud princess, hasn't always wanted to get out of her control. Now she is worried about herself and defending herself? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 213. Hearing Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran actually plead for Qin Changsheng. Everyone present was all puzzled. These two saints, their sect was destroyed, they themselves were robbed, and they were still killing the piano demon? But what shocked everyone was not over yet. Sister Yaokai Saint, I am Lu Yanran, the saint of Suandan Holy Land. I also feel that although this guy is a bit bad, he is not that heinous. At least he didn't hurt me or force me to do anything. I will follow him, mainly because I want to learn to be a king-level alchemist, and he doesn't hide his clumsiness and answers all my questions. Provide us with various resources. And those saints you mentioned, who were snatched away by him along the way, actually have very good evaluations of him, but they are all practicing in seclusion now. Suandan Saint Lu Yanran also spoke from the side. And I, Han Jiaran, the saint of the Thousand Formation Demon Sect. 2 days ago, he wiped out the Thousand Formation Demon Sect with a wave of his hand, but compared to the Thousand Formation Demon Sect, I think he is more humane. At that time, he was still an extremely old king-level alchemist, but the Qianzhen demon sect forced me to devote myself to him in exchange for the qualification to make alchemy. I really couldn't accept it and I decided to kill myself on the spot. It was he who saved me. Later, it was also the Qianzhen demon sect who wanted to take action against him, so he fought back to kill the Qianzhen demon section. I don't think there is anything wrong with such behavior in this world. Han Jiaran, the saint of Qianzhen demon sect, also explained immediately. This time, everyone was really dumbfounded. Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran, they can still understand. Lu Yanran and Han Jiaran, but I had only followed that guy for a few days. Actually, I also talked to that guy. But think about it carefully. It seems that what they said is really the truth. For a moment, everyone was a little confused. Including Qin Changsheng himself. He did not expect that these 4 girls would actually speak for him. However, I said, you 4, are you begging me for mercy? You don't believe me. Are you afraid that I will be defeated by this little girl? Qin Changsheng chuckled and joked a few words. As soon as these words came out, the 4 girls rolled their eyes. Brother, it's hard for us to say something nice to you. As soon as you said these 2 words, everything was ruined. And, aren't you worried yourself? Look at the boundary of the king's realm, it is 500 miles in scope, the cultivation level of the 5th heaven of Yunhai realm. In mid-air. The poem of Shangguan, the saint of Yaokai poetry, I was a little hesitant because of what the 4 girls said. After hearing these 2 sentences from Qin Changsheng, a strange color flashed in his beautiful eyes. What, do you really want to fight me? Are you confident in yourself? Shang Guanshishi chuckled. That's natural, I'm not only going to attack you. I'm going to steal you too. Have you forgotten, my favorite thing is to rob the saint. Qin Changsheng said slowly and leisurely, then handed the millet grains to Lu Ruyan and walked towards the opposite side of Shang Guanshishi. When everyone saw this scene, their emotions changed sharply. Where does this guy get the courage? But the next moment, something happened that stunned everyone. Qin Changsheng took one step forward, and the king's domain barrier around him suddenly expanded to 100 miles. With the second step, come when Shang Guanshishi arrived at the opposite side, the king's realm barrier around him had expanded by another 100 miles. Moreover, it was separated from the king's domain barrier of the Yaokai Saint. Within it, all kinds of the mark of the Tao and the mysterious attachments are circulating crazily. The sounds of the Tao are also shaking the world. Although the scope is smaller than the king's domain barrier of the Yaokai Saint. But in terms of momentum, it's not weak at all. The number of Tao marks and the majesty of the voice of the Tao are even better than the king's domain barrier of the Yaokai Saint. 300 miles of the king's domain barrier. How is it possible that he is the third level of Yunhai realm? Just now, he actually suppressed his cultivation. It shouldn't be. He had just broken through the Yunhai realm 2 days ago. How could he reach the third level of the Yunhai realm so quickly? Others who have been in the Yunhai realm for decades may not be able to break through the realm of the first heaven. He breaks through the first heaven in 1 day. The most terrifying thing is, why does his king's realm barrier seem to be more powerful than the Yaokai Saint in the 5th heaven of Yunhai realm? I'm going crazy. Is this really not a dream? What kind of monster is this guy? Everyone, looking at Qin Changsheng's king's domain barrier at this time, was so stunned that they forgot to breathe. Including the 4 girls Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran, they were really worried about Qin Changsheng just now. It was determined that Qin Changsheng was at the 1st level of Yunhai realm, while the Yaokai Saint was at the 5th level of Yunhai realm. The difference was really huge. But now, Qin Changsheng unexpectedly refreshed their knowledge once again. This guy is really a monster. And he is a monster with no limits and no upper limit. Interesting, really interesting. In just a few days, he directly entered the 3rd level of Yunhai realm. Are you, like that little girl, relying on spiritual stones and elixirs to achieve breakthroughs? But, aren't you worried that the state achieved through such cultivation is very unstable? In mid-air, Shang Guanshishi saw Qin Changsheng's cultivation, and her beautiful eyes froze for a moment. But soon, she had her own guess and said this. And when she said this, everyone understood instantly. This guy is a king-level alchemist. If he is like that little girl, he can directly take pills to practice. It is really possible for him to break through 2 heavens one after another. But just as the Yaokai Saint said, such a state improvement that seems to be counterproductive is definitely not a good choice for a practitioner. Otherwise, it can damage one's own foundation. Even Lu Ruyan and the 4 girls were all a little doubtful at this time. Qin Changsheng was practicing like this. But they felt something was wrong. This guy hadn't taken any pills or practiced in the past few days. Even if he took the king-level pills, there must be a process of absorbing breakthroughs. This guy was eating, drinking, and having fun the whole time. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 214. Whether my realm is stable or not, you will know after you become my little maid. Qin Changsheng said with a chuckle. He did not comment on Shang Guanshishi's doubts. Because he himself could not explain his own state. It was impossible to say, because he just hugged Xiaomi Lier and he must have broken through 2 heavens one after another. Just in time, Shang Guanshishi's random guess led everyone astray, and Qin Changsheng was extremely happy about it. After saying this, Qin Changshen lifted his clothes and sat cross-legged. Gu Qin also appeared in front of him, obviously getting ready to fight. Want me to be your little maid? Well, well, despite your fighting prowess, your wishful thinking is quite courageous. Let me see, how much do you, the legendary harp demon killer, weigh? In mid-air, Yaokai Saint Chang Guan Shishi gave a sweet smile, and the marks of Tao around her body circulated crazily. The next moment, all the spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged crazily within the boundary of her king's realm. At that moment, everyone below felt like their souls were leaving their bodies. The true energy and soul see in his body were actually affected by this Yaokai saint. This was the result of isolating everyone else outside the realm when they were fighting. If it were in the realm of the Yaokai saint, no one could imagine how powerful this overbearing force was. I'm afraid that the Yaokai saint maiden's thoughts have moved. She and others have already suffered countless casualties. In the blink of an eye, the saintess of Yaokai was within the boundary of the king's domain. All the spiritual energy of heaven and earth turned into a tornado that went straight into the sky. The imprint of the great avenue poured into it was countless. Every time it rotated, the world around the tornado was directly torn apart and collapsed, revealing patches of unpredictable void. Everyone looked at this tornado and were so shocked that they were speechless. Is the Yunhai realm king level so terrifying? Even the combat skills are not used, just mobilizing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to tear the world apart. But soon, everyone figured it out. It's not that the Yunhai realm kings are so terrifying, but that this Yaokai saint's own strength is so terrifying. The two Yunhai realms, Holy Master Yuntian and Holy Master Suandan, looked at the scene in mid-air with shocked expressions on their faces. It can be seen that they, who are both in the Yunhai realm, were also shocked by the strength of the Yaokai saint. As for Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran, looking at the menacing tornado, their pretty faces showed deep worries. This Yaokai saint is a bit ridiculously strong. But looking at Qin Changshen again, everyone was completely speechless. This guy was actually calm and composed, sitting in the boundary of his own king's domain, as if nothing happened, and still strumming the strings casually. Is your king's realm barrier very powerful? Break it for me. The saint of Yaokai scolded once again. Then, the tornado condensed in her king's domain, tearing apart the heaven and earth, crazily hit Qin Changshen's king's domain barrier. Obviously, just now Qin Changshen propped up the king's domain barrier and separated it from her domain. She remembered it in her heart. Now she just wants to crush Qin Changshen's king's domain barrier and clear her name. I don't know if it's strong or not. But my domain barrier has not been broken yet. You can't do it either. Faced with the crazy tornado that tore the world apart, Qin Changshen remained calm and said calmly. Everyone was speechless again. This guy is really so confident. Although you are very evil, have you forgotten well, the two of you are two realms apart. And your cultivation level, is it stable? Looking at it, the powerful tornado is already about to compete with Qin Changshen's king's realm. The barriers collided together. Everyone's hearts were in their throats, and they didn't dare to breathe. But at this moment, the sound of the piano in Qin Changshen's hand suddenly became a little mysterious. That feeling was very strange. Just like Qin Changshen, what he plucks every time is not the strings of the piano, but something in this world. What comes from the piano is not the ordinary piano sound, but the sound of everything in the world screaming at the same time. Boom! The raging tornado had already hit Qin Changshen's king's realm barrier crazily. But a picture that no one expected appeared. Qin Changshen's king's domain barrier was not shattered by the tornado that tore the world apart. When the two collided, a layer of mysterious ancient runes suddenly appeared on Qin Changshen's king's domain barrier. Looking more carefully, these mysterious ancient runes actually trembled with the sound of Qin Changshen's piano. With each tremor, the power of the tornado was reduced a bit. After a few times, the tornado that tore the world apart and collapsed the void had been directly weakened into a spiritual breeze, completely transformed, and returned to the world between. How is it possible? How did he do it? It's 2 realms away. How could his king's realm barrier be so strong? I have long noticed that this guy's king's realm barrier seems to be different from other Yunhai realm ones. Now it seems, it is indeed the case. But what's the difference? Something is wrong, very wrong. What kind of monster is this guy? So strong that it reaches heaven. When everyone watching the battle saw the scene just now, their hearts were in their throats and they almost spit it out of their mouths. They had never thought that Qin Changsheng could withstand the attack of the Yaokai Saint. But they never expected that this guy could carry it so easily. No, he didn't carry it at all. When someone plays the piano easily, it dissolves into nothingness. They really couldn't understand how this guy did it and why he was so powerful. Until mid-air, the Yaokai Saint, whose beautiful eyes were also full of surprise, spoke. The law of the piano. You can actually control the law of the piano. How could this be? Only those who have attained enlightenment and become saints can control the laws, and the Yunhai realm king level can only be borrowed. You actually entered Taoism with the harp and became a saint. As soon as these words from Yaokai Saint Changguan Shishi came out, everyone present was no longer in a mess. Instead, they were completely collapsed.